Is Google finally about to throw a lifeline to small publishers? In an unexpected move, they invited the founder of Dodo, a small gaming site destroyed by recent algorithm updates, to the Google office for an in-person conversation about how they can do better for small publishers. It's very interesting timing, with Google sharing that a core update should launch in the coming weeks that may impact sites hit by recent updates. And stick around as we share potential proof that Google is trying to detect AI content on your site, explore an innovative method for tracking your ChatGPT rankings, and more. Welcome to another edition of our Search Marketing News Roundup. I'm Mark Webster, co-founder of Authority Hacker, strategic advisor at Marketing Pros, and today's video is brought to you by Search Intelligence. More on them a little later. Now let's dive into Dodo's surprising meeting at Google headquarters. Hope for small publishers may finally be within reach after an encouraging meeting between Google's search liaison and a prominent small publisher. If you lost traffic to the September Helpful Content Update, HCU, or March Core Update, you're probably used to Google's refusal to admit that many great sites were unfairly hit. But Google's recent communications suggest they're aware they made a mistake. After the September update, Google's John Mueller claimed in a now deleted tweet that they won't undo the update and suggested that affected sites deserved the traffic loss. But a more recent tweet from Mueller shows a softer tone, claiming that sites that were affected can be recovered. Google search liaison Danny Sullivan has echoed this stance. They're basically saying if your site is good, keep your head down, keep making great content, and things should turn around eventually. This sentiment of "we messed up" seems to be going further than just tweets though. Dodo, like many other small sites, was decimated by HCU. Their founder, Brandon Saltalamacchia, along with Giselle Navarro from HouseFresh, another site that was hit, have become prominent public advocates for small publishers who suffered the same fate. In fact, their calls for a change have become so popular that Google CEO Sundar Pichai commented on them. We covered that in a previous video. At the end of May, Sullivan had a call with Dodo and HouseFresh teams, where he interviewed them about what happened with their sites and how Google might improve. That call was viewed live by 50 Googlers who work in search quality, and even more watched the recording. In perhaps the most significant gesture of goodwill yet, Sullivan invited Saltalamacchia for a one-on-one conversation at Google's office on how Google can do better by small publishers. This meeting could not have come at a better time, as Sullivan just announced that the next core update, which could review sites that didn't deserve to be hit, should be coming in a few weeks. Saltalamacchia shared a lot of concerns with Sullivan, but we know Google's spotty track record with listening to feedback. Let's explore Saltalamacchia's takeaways to see what concrete information we can pull from this. For starters, he believes things won't change quickly or in the near future. However, this comment was made prior to the core update announcement, so it's unclear if that changes his perspective. Saltalamacchia thinks the dominance of Reddit, which is getting over 560 million visits per month from Google, is here to stay. We're not sure about this, as Google will likely have to adjust things given the parasite SEO spam flooding high-ranking Reddit threads with affiliate links. We reported on that in a previous video. Google says they want to help creators over SEOs, specifically by encouraging creators to move away from SEO advice and instead focus on making great content that will help users. Funny, I thought making great content was great SEO advice. The hidden message here is that Google may want to reframe the public's perception of the situation. They want to be seen communicating directly with individual creators like Saltalamacchia, not huge businesses like Dotdash Meredith that have large teams pumping out tons of content. Sullivan is worried about creators quitting their sites and not creating great content because of algorithm changes. He says Google is trying to fix it. Well, many creators have already quit, and Google will have to make some big fixes in the upcoming core update to restore trust and keep the remaining creators in the game. Google's also worried about new creators beginning their Google journey and falling for bad SEO advice. Because Google's algorithm is a black box, many people new to SEO have to turn to third-party sources for guidance, and some teach risky flavor of the month style tactics that don't work in the long run. Google wants newcomers to avoid that trap and instead focus on building a strong foundation through quality content creation. We completely agree with this advice, though it would help if Google did a better job rewarding publishers for focusing on quality. Sullivan mostly asked questions, but had this message for small publishers: hang on and keep doing what you're doing. He's hopeful those of us building great websites will see some signs of recovery in the coming months. To be honest, I'm 50-50 on this one. It seems that Googlers like Sullivan, who interface with the public, genuinely recognize the problem, but the engineering team keeps rolling out updates that contradict Google's advice on creating quality content. The disconnect's pretty concerning. Sultalamakya also expresses this sentiment, saying that he thinks most of Danny's recommendations are denied by the engineers. It's a tough situation to be in. Google's algorithm is unbelievably complex, as the recent leaked algorithm documents show. Striking a balance between filtering out spammers looking for quick profits and preserving the rankings of legitimate, quality-focused site owners is not an easy task. However, if Google wants both creators and users to be happy, they'll need to find a solution. We'll have to see if Google's shift in messaging translates to real traffic gains for sites unfairly hit by HCU. We'll be doing a deep core update analysis after it launches, so make sure you're subscribed right now to avoid missing out. AI-generated spam is one of the biggest hurdles in Google's efforts to moderate the search results. So it isn't surprising that the latest discovery from the recent algorithm leak is that Google appears to have a site-level AI-generated score. Juan Gonzalez Villa, founder and director of Agencia UC, reported the finding on X. He believes the Raptor score variable is the probability that a site's content is AI-generated. It's a good bet considering the variable description is site-level AGC classification score. Villa believes AGC means artificially generated content. Villa points out that Raptor refers to a ChatGPT precursor developed in the 1980s by IBM, and that the name is probably a geeky reference from Google engineers. As with all reports on the Google leak, it's important to take this with a grain of salt. While Google has confirmed the leak is authentic, we don't know how much of the leak reflects what's in the current algorithm. For more on the leak, check out our 2 deep dive videos on the topic. It's also unclear how this might be used in the algorithm. Google's guidelines make it clear that AI-generated content is acceptable. The important thing is that it's quality content. There have been many examples of AI-generated spam sites growing exponentially for a few months, only for Google to decimate them. This type of rank and tank strategy will likely fail in the long term, and the Raptor score variable may be the reason for that. We recommend a hybrid approach to content creation with AI. It's a great tool for speeding up the process, particularly around research and rewording, but there should always be human checking of errors and ensuring accuracy. And of course, pay extra attention to any work your human writers are producing for you. Some of it may actually be from AI. Speaking of AI, our next story provides a glimpse into the potential evolution of SEO, tracking your rankings in popular chatbots. Most AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Perplexity now cite their sources, offering a new avenue for generating traffic and increasing brand awareness. But these citations are a black hole for site owners. How much is ChatGPT mentioning your website or products? OpenAI doesn't have a search console like Google does, so there's no easy way to know. SEO consultant Chris Green wanted to see how such a rank tracking system might work, so he ran an interesting experiment. Green created 5 product solution-oriented questions. He tested them on 4 large language models, LLMs, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Perplexity. 3 different users asked the same question as a new conversation. These questions were asked over a 24-hour period to ensure model consistency. It was a small-scale study, but he still made interesting observations. Conversational search engine Perplexity provided the most consistent answers, while ChatGPT was the least consistent. However, all 4 LLMs had significant inconsistencies. Local results like the answers to the question, "Who are highly recommended plumbers in Colchester?" were the most inconsistent. Green commented that recommended services seem to be picked randomly from business directories. Green's conclusion was that it's incredibly difficult to accurately measure rankings in an LLM, especially given the frequent model updates. It seems LLMs will remain a black hole for the time being. As chatbots and the industry surrounding them evolves, we may get more insights into these metrics. But for now, it seems best to focus on other platforms and accept any LLM mentions as a nice side benefit. Up next, we have an intriguing study showcasing linkable assets that have amassed over 4,000 backlinks. But before we dive in, here's a quick word from our sponsor, Search Intelligence. They recently ran a digital PR campaign that earned their real estate client 15 high-tier links on major websites like Yahoo, The Street, and Parade.com. Their campaign, The Most Googled Movie Homes in the World, started by listing the most popular movies from IMDb and finding global search volumes for the homes featured in these using Ahrefs. Examples include Scarface House and Home Alone House. They sent a top 10 list to journalists covering homes and real estate and regionalized press releases for local newspapers. Within days, the story was picked up by major outlets, landing over a dozen high-quality links. So if you want to run an innovative digital PR campaign to enhance your link building, head on over to search-intelligence.co.uk. A new study released by SEO expert James Oliver has identified 51 calculator tools that have generated over 4,000 backlinks. And it's not just links from random sites. These are backlinks from heavy hitters like the New York Times, Harvard, and the BBC. For example, CCW has acquired over 300 referring domains to their water meter calculator in a year and a half. And WalletHub's cell phone upgrade calculator has over 130 referring domains. Linkable assets are a powerful way to grow your site authority, and calculators are just one of many examples of tools you can create. We've had a lot of success ourselves with linkable assets lately, having built thousands of links to a few survey and statistics posts we created on Authority Hacker. Along with digital PR, this seems to be the direction of travel for higher-end link building these days. And it's about time, to be honest. These guest post farms that so many people relied on in the past were never a good long-term play. Check out James's list of calculator tools for some inspiration. We'll put the link in the description. Many of the backlinks to these calculator tools are great, but what do you do when you're getting spammed with low quality backlinks that you don't want Google to associate with your site? The standard advice for the past 10 years or so has been to use the backlink disavow tool in Google Search Console. But a new report by Cyrus Shepard, head of Zippy SEO, brings the effectiveness of this tool into question. Shepard disavowed every single backlink to his website zippy.com that was listed in Google Search Console and Ahrefs. In total, over 10,000 links from 1,473 unique domains were disavowed. So what happened to his traffic in the nearly 2 months since? According to Shepard, absolutely nothing. Shepard has a few theories on why the disavow didn't work as expected. The first is that Google didn't trust the disavow file. Google has said that the disavow tool works more like a suggestion rather than a command. This could be a safeguard in place to protect site owners from accidentally disavowing their entire backlink profile. SEO Brent Payne suggested it may take months for a disavow file to take effect. Shepard's disavow was in place for only 7 weeks, so perhaps more time is needed. And some SEOs noted that they could find tens of thousands of additional links that weren't included in Shepard's disavow file. Shepard only focused on links reported by Google and Ahrefs, trusting these indexes to capture most of the big, valuable links Google considers for ranking purposes. Shepard's running another disavow experiment, and we'll keep it going for a longer period this time. If any notable findings turn up, we'll be sure to report about them here. So again, make sure you're subscribed. SEO expert Barry Schwartz reported that Google's testing a country-specific label in search. This label apparently shows which site the country operates in. It's not clear how Google determines which country to label a site with. Schwartz noted that the page the label appeared on does not have any mention of South Africa, but the website is specifically a shopping site in South Africa. A commenter in Schwartz's article made a good point. Will it show the server location or where Google thinks the site is from? Many sites use a content delivery network CDN to host their sites around the globe, so using those as a reference could prove inaccurate. Google runs experiments like this all the time, so there's no guarantee this will expand to other countries. But we'll keep an eye on this and let you know if it does. If you're concerned about your content's visibility in the search results, you're not going to love this. Google Ads liaison Ginny Marvin has confirmed that search ads can appear directly below featured snippets. This lines up with Barry Schwartz's report in March that Google had updated its definition of top ads to state that they may not be at the top of the search results. To clarify, this implementation is not new, but reports on X have mentioned noticing this occurring in May, but this confirmation from Marvin indicates it may be here to stay. It's time now for our debate of the week. Do you think RetroDodo, HouseFresh, and other sites impacted by HCU have finally gotten through to Google's engineers? Or will the next core update keep punishing small sites unfairly? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you liked this video, you'll definitely like this video.